All right, the last thing you need to do is fill up the oil in the engine. I believe it takes 7 quarts of oil, but make sure that you check the dipstick and make sure you're between the marks. You have the right amount of oil in it. I usually check it after I run the car for a few minutes. The engine warms up, I check it again and I add if it needs it. So the dipstick for this C300 is back here between the engine and the firewall. Let's see, I've checked it and it seemed to be okay. Indeed it is. It's on the right spot. But do check it again after you run the car. And that's it for changing the oil in a C300. You've saved yourself at least $300. There you go. And put this back where it belongs. That's it. Another job done properly and cheaply. This is for oil change for a 2008 Mercedes-Benz C300. I would think that it would be the same for most of the years as well. This is where the filter is, the oil filter. You need a special tool to open this. I use one of these belt plier tools to open it. So you open it counterclockwise. You put this around this and turn it counterclockwise to open it. And the filter for it, I've got the Mobile 1 filter, and it comes with its seals for around the filter housing, and this is the used filter right here. I've already changed it. Now the most important thing about this Mercedes-Benz is it's not very easy to change the oil. It's got a plastic protective cover on the underside covering the oil pan, and I figured out a way to change the oil without even having to lift the car. So that's the oil pan, and you may be able to see the oil is dripping out right now. It's draining out. So I figured out the way. It's got 4 screws to remove. It's this kind of screws, and I'll tell you the size for it. And this is the protective covering that covers the oil pan. So once you get this opened up, it's like any other car really. But you should know where the the nuts are for this to open it up. I can do it with my eyes closed since I've done this before. Now the sizes are a 15 millimeter for the oil. This is what I use for the oil. It's actually 13. It's a 13 millimeter. It's right there. It's a 13 millimeter for the oil. And I've got a, I believe it's 5/16 for the protective cover. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a 5/16 of an inch. And then once you drain all the oil, make sure you put back the oil lug on it nice and tight. Make sure the filter is changed and put back by putting it into the housing and turning it clockwise, and it's nice and taut. And then pour in the recommended oil, which I use the Mobil 1 0W40 from Walmart. 0W40. Let me show you the actual container for it. That's what it is. Mobil 1 0W40 for European car. And that's about it. It costs about $40 for the oil and $10 for the filter. So $50 in all. If you take it to Mercedes-Benz, I believe they'll charge you close to $400. But they might also change the air filter for the cabin and all that. This is the B5 service. But the air filter again is $10 from Amazon. I can easily do it myself, so can you. As I said, I have mastered this oil change on this C300 without ever having to lift the car. Just park it on a flat surface, and as long as you have the right tools in hands that are 5 feet long, you should be fine. If you don't have 5 feet long hands, then you have to find the right tools. I don't have that long hands, but I have the extenders that reach the oil lug nut just barely, of course. So I have the full extender on and I can reach there. There it is. Yeah, there. And then either open or close it. But with my arm length, I can barely reach it. So you should be able to get dirty. Put something on the floor and reach out as far as you can. Alright, here we are. That's the front of the vehicle. I'm done with the protective cover back in place. Mind you, every time I do this, while I'm trying to put back this cover, I curse myself and Mercedes-Benz. I curse myself for being cheap and trying to do this myself. And I curse Mercedes-Benz for unnecessarily making this complicated. But once it's done, it's not too bad. So there is one connection up here. It's very hard to see them. There's one bolt. I have to feel it. There's one here for which I don't have the bolt. There is one out there. Come on, man, focus. Yeah, right there. And then there's one in the front out there. That's the bolt right there. And there's 3 on the other side of the vehicle as well. So putting this in place, that's the challenge. But once it's done, it's not too bad. You've saved yourself several $100s. Nice try, Mercedes-Benz.